them legs or that hair up there?
Hey, man, these juicing berries, man.
Sit down.
Juicing berries.
Hey, before you take over my show. Sit down.
Good to see you, Bart.
Big, man, switching it up, baby.
Let us talk about the Green Bay Packers. Hasn't been a great recent stretch for them. Missing the playoffs the last 2 seasons, dealing with Aaron Rodgers' injuries. New chapter, though, in Green Bay. New head coach, Matt LaFleur. New optimism. LaFleur says he has yet to meet Aaron Rodgers as the head coach, but he said, I know how important our relationship is going to be. Bart, will his relationship with Aaron Rodgers be LaFleur's biggest challenge as the new head coach of this team?
I think earning his respect is going to be his biggest challenge. He's going to have to show his football acumen off the bat, and I think this is going to be more of a partnership. When you're at the stage that, you know, Aaron Rodgers in his career, he's seen it all, he's done it all, and he has a great grasp of how he likes to, what plays work for him and his skill set. You know, you can hear the stories about him changing the plays at the line of scrimmage with McCarthy. That's because he didn't respect the plays that he was calling. I think they need to get in the room, figure out philosophies, much like when Peyton Manning went out to Denver and he had a meeting, he put in some of the plays that he liked to do as well and kind of merged the philosophies together. But they're going to have more of a run-based type of offense because in the lead-in, you guys were saying he hasn't been healthy. You have to keep him on the field, and the best ability is availability. They've made some key additions on the offseason to make sure that they can kind of shore up the defense and have a different type of game plan as far as going about winning.
Look, I look at this situation very similar to whomever the next head coach of the Lakers is, which is LeBron's got no choice but to buy in because time is running out. Aaron Rodgers has no choice but to be on the same page with LaFleur because time is running out. Like, even in the Tom Brady era of guys playing to 40 years old, how many prime years do we think Aaron Rodgers has left? 3?
Yeah.
4? Matt LaFleur, he better hope is his last head coach, because if Matt LaFleur gets fired, it means something has gone terribly wrong over the next couple of years, and the Packers aren't competing. Last year was the first year since Rodgers' first year as a starter that he played all 16 games. They didn't make the playoffs. And they weren't close to making the playoffs. They couldn't win a road game. They couldn't beat good teams. Their best win of the year was the first win of the year, the comeback against the Bears, and it was really downhill from there. So the onus is on Aaron Rodgers when he is one of the big reasons that Mike McCarthy is not there anymore. Similar, LeBron's one of the big reasons Luke Walton's not going to be there anymore. You got to make this work. You have to make sure that if he is not on your level football acumen-wise, you find a way to help him get there. And if he is on your level, all the better. But there is an odd way more pressure on Rodgers than LaFleur because Rodgers is the one with a legacy. Yeah. Rodgers is the one trying to climb, trying to cement himself as an all-timer. And how this relationship works is going to have an enormous amount to do with that.
How is it even on the board that we're thinking maybe Matt LaFleur doesn't have the same football acumen as Aaron Rodgers? Shouldn't that have been the first? I mean, if this is going to be their last coach, a guy that would work with LeBron, would work with Aaron Rodgers, wouldn't you expect that guy to be on the same level, at least, if not more?
I like what Green Bay has done from a personnel standpoint. I like the fact that they changed their philosophy, even by going after someone who didn't have experience like Matt LaFleur. Like, I got a lot of respect for that. Now does that carry over to changing the philosophy of the organization? So I know Matt LaFleur knows more football than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers knows he knows more football because they wouldn't have hired him. That's someone else's job to be able to do that. So you are right on. So that question is answered. The other tough question is well, what about the relationship? I don't believe the relationship between Matt and Aaron is the most important thing. The relationship between Matt LaFleur and those other 52 guys in the locker room is far more important because in private, Matt and Aaron are going to get along. Aaron knows how offense is run. Matt knows how things are done. Matt couldn't do what he wanted to do in Tennessee because he didn't have the talent or they wouldn't relinquish the control. But I believe he's going to run an offense that Aaron Rodgers is going to love. But Bart, you've been in them NFL locker rooms. It only takes one bad sentence. It only takes one bad game plan to lose the interest of others. See, the reason why, like in the NBA, you mentioned LeBron, NBA players, if you haven't played the game, you better be hellacious on your X's and O's because that's the way you get their confidence. In the NFL locker room, Brian Billiken, man, you got to be able to talk that talk. You got to be able to talk blitzes. You got to be able to talk side adjustment. You got to be able to talk audible system, coverages. Those are the things I know Matt can do. But what he says to the rest of the team on a daily basis is more important than his relationship with Aaron, because Aaron's got pressure built in himself to make sure this goes right, Bart.
And when you look at what they did, they retained Mike Pettin because he has head coaching experience. Also, they changing that defense to a 3-4 to change the philosophy. How do you keep the longevity of Aaron Rodgers alive? Is by playing sound defense and running the football. So I think they're going to move more toward that type of philosophy so that they can preserve him and only ask him to be great, in certain times of the game when he has to take over. But let the other 52 players on the team kind of carry you a little bit, because when he gets out and he tries to make those off-schedule plays is when he's not been able to be healthy. And we know the drop-off from Aaron to their backup, it's the difference. Kaiser is the difference between, going to the playoffs or winning tight games or losing 3 in a row. So I think that he understands that he's starting to see his mortality, but also he has to fight the perception that he's a coach killer. Because last year what happened is the coach got fired after McCarthy got fired, because saying that you got to put some of the blame on 12. So he has to be on his best behavior, make sure that he's a good leader, and make sure that this narrative changes, that he's a coach killer, he can't be coached, that he's above reproach.
I'm really interested in some of the things you talked about, how a coach can instill confidence in the other 52, what they can do, what they have to say. The flip side of that, what are some of the things that a coach could do, a new first-time head coach, in a team meeting or in a game plan that's going to make that's going to make guys say he doesn't know what the hell he's doing?
Oh yeah,
we had one in Dennis Green. We had 8 Pro Bowlers. I think there were 8 the previous season before Dennis Green took over. And his only pro experience was as a wide receiver coach with Bill Walsh. But people were talking about Northwestern and Stanford. Oh, he can't coach in the NFL. Man, Denny Green, first day, cut about 4 of them Pro Bowlers.
You got to.
It's like, I don't know what he knows, but he knows who's going to be working here or not. So that right there got our attention. And then along the way, man, he had pivotal conversations that let us know, oh, this guy, our football future is in his hands. We can relinquish.
You can trust him.
Yes.
Yeah, B, but sometimes every time you have a new head coach, it's going to be a point in the season where the team has collectively questions about how do we fix this, what's going on, and man, he better have the answers, because they're going to be saying, listen, this is what's going on. He's going to have to be a king of adjustments, game planning. He's going to have to be ahead of scouting, being able to tell guys, hey, this is what you can expect, and they have to be right. If not, they're going to say this guy don't know what he's talking about. If he can't get in front of a room of men, grown men, and lead them, inspire them, he's going to lose them early. He's going to have to cut some of these guys. That's why a lot of head coaches, first-time head coaches, cutting a bunch of guys, because they want to get a bunch of young guys in there that they can scare straight.
And that's when the veterans become important. Even if Aaron and him aren't on the same page, Aaron could help him in those messaging point with the other guys. That's where you have to depend on that locker room to build help out a young coach.
Right, what Rex did for me, and when Rex came over, he brought a bunch of guys from Baltimore with him, so we can be extensions of him in the locker room, because you got to sell this message that he knows what he's talking about. LaFleur, I don't know if he had that background.
All right, we'll break there. Bart, we'll see you a little bit later on the show. Coming up, why do the Warriors keep feuding with the refs? Next on First Things First.
Help him.
Look at this guy.
Help him.
He thinks he's so pretty.